So let's start with this. The NBA has suspended Draymond Green for Game 3. Warriors already trail 0-2 in the series. The suspension was based in part on Draymond Green's history of unsportsmanlike acts. Resumes matter. I've said that multiple times on the show. Draymond's resume here hurt him. Listen, if you get a speeding ticket, right, you pay a fine. If you get multiple speeding tickets, you lose your license. It also didn't help Draymond with Adam Silver in attendance getting the crowd riled up. The memories of malice in the palace run deep in this league. There's the old saying, can't yell fire in a crowded theater. I do not think that helped Draymond Green at all, inciting the crowd, getting them riled up. That's a non-starter for the NBA. That malice in the palace thing, they still worry about that and the damage it did to the league. And I think with Draymond, it's the old saying, our gifts become our curses. He has been at times a heel and a villain and a tough guy. And that's the reason they have 4 titles, right? Like, it's a big part of who they are. After Steph Curry, Draymond Green is the soul of this team. Not Klay Thompson. Not even Steve Kerr. It's Steph Curry and Draymond Green. Steve Kerr has told people privately how valuable Draymond Green is at practice, on the flights, creating energy. And you take the good with the bad. And the good's been 90%, and the bad's been about 10%. There has been bad. 2016, they led the Cavs 3-1. He gets ejected. It's a turning point. Warriors lose the finals. Draymond and Kevin Durant. I mean, there's multiple well-documented stories. He may have inflamed that relationship. KD left. There's the punch. And then there's this. And you see it in business. You see it in sports. You see it in relationships. Is that ego that helps you build an empire can often unravel you. And I've seen it my whole life. That's why be grateful, be humble. When you're at the top, the Warriors have always accepted the good with the bad with Draymond, and it has overwhelmingly been good. They do not have 4 titles without him. And even with KD, and though they could battle at times, somebody had to be the physical guy. Somebody had to be the presence. Somebody had to be the bouncer. But now this dynasty is teetering. They're all mid-30s. Klay had a recent injury a year and a half ago. Steph limps every playoff game. Draymond Green is older, and the young guys are not ready to take the baton yet. Kuminga, Moody, Jordan Poole, they got rid of Wiseman. So this season has been bookended with a Draymond punch and a Draymond kick. And I fear that it's the end of this dynasty. I didn't think it was worth an ejection. I would have given Sabonis and Draymond technicals, but the NBA said, we went back and looked at his history, and I think with Adam Silver in attendance, inciting and riling up the crowd, I don't think that did any favors to Draymond Green. And I've watched the Warriors play 50 times this year, and I'm not sure they can beat Sacramento without Draymond. The ball doesn't move as well. He's their best defender. He's an absolute catalyst in timeouts. I'm not sure they can beat the Kings without him. I know they can't beat the Kings in Sacramento without him. They're going to need big games from Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, and Kayvon Looney, and I'm not sure they're going to get it. Well, you know, they say, I did pick the Suns in a weird West to get to the finals. Without Paul George, Clippers aren't the same team. Warriors have not been good enough on the road. I don't trust Denver. Sacramento's young. But they say that styles make fights. Okay, and so sometimes you got to see boxers fight for a couple of rounds to understand how it's going to work. And when I watch the Clippers with all that depth against the Suns without much of a bench, my takeaway is Phoenix needs another guy. They feel like they're a guy short. If you gave them the Clippers' Norman Powell or a Terrence Mann, just a reserve, it would feel different. But they gave away 3 players. Remember, they gave away 3 players, all of them important players, to Brooklyn to get Kevin Durant. So they had to give up Mikal Bridges. You know that was going to hurt, right? Everybody, but you're not going to get Kevin Durant without him. But even a guy like Cam Johnson, who they gave up, Cam Johnson was averaging 14 points a game. And that's about what they feel like they need, a little margin of error. Cam Johnson the other night against Philadelphia had a huge night. Because every time I'm watching this series, every time Phoenix has a substitution, you're holding your breath. Now, Cameron Payne is the backup point guard to Chris Paul, but he's injured. And maybe when Cameron Payne comes back, that's the guy. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe that's the guy. But I feel like there's no margin for error. It's almost like if you have a connecting flight at an airport and you only have like 25 minutes, if there's a 10-minute delay, you miss your flight. If one of your kids has to go to the bathroom, you don't get there on time and they close the door. I mean, last night, Phoenix's starters, give me a break. They shot 60% from the field. That's not going to happen again. Devin Booker shot 64%. That's not going to happen again. It's just there's no margin for error. When I watch these two men, because I think the Clippers need another star. They have depth. The Suns don't need another star. They need another guy, which the Clippers have a couple of. And again, maybe that's Cameron Payne, but I think they need another dude. And that's why teams like Milwaukee all year add a Jay Crowder, they add a piece here. It's amazing how often just another dude matters. But I watched it last night, and I'm like, Cameron Payne needs to play because they're not going to shoot. The Phoenix starters shot 60% last night. There's no margin for error. That game was tied at half. It was in Phoenix. Like, they're going to go back to Los Angeles, and they may be lucky to get out of there with a 2-2 split. That's what it feels like to me. They need another dude. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.